So is this a little bit overdue? Yes it is, but guess what? I'm still doing it because someone nagged me into it. But that's beside the point. Right now, this is Geek358_2. I'm here to discuss the eternal thoughts of when Tales of the Empire came out, only because of by now the news of Tales of the Underworld will be coming on May the 4th. So let's just get this out of the way, shall we? So by these Tales series that we are now coming into effective, because now we're having 3 of them right now, we're obviously focusing on the second part, which is Tales of the Empire, which is basically upon the 2 characters which I would not expect that they would have chosen, which is Morgan Elsbeth, which she was a very interesting character in the Ahsoka series when we first got introduced by her. And now we also have Barriss Offee, which honestly I was personally nice to see that we're gonna get her side on what happened after what she did towards Ahsoka. So let's just jump in and see what we got for the first part. So I would say Morgan Elsbeth wasn't properly introduced when she first appeared in, The Mandalorian. And now that Tales of the Empire basically gave this backstory towards her, I'd say she is actually more compelling. She's a very compelling, interesting character that I really do appreciate what they wrote for her backstory, honestly. And that's coming a lot because we don't even know much about the Night Sister history. I would say we don't. I just wish there was even more backstory towards that, but it's really nice to see. Well, I can't really say nice considering that the whole clan was basically killed off by General Grievous, and she even watched her mother died, which that would be anyone's. I would say that's a plot in having to turn into revenge and hatred, which leads into a dark side. And as the years went by, she even asked the Empire's help by showing them her designs of the starships that could have helped the Empire out. But that wasn't in their interest, rather it was more of the planet that she was serving as a magistrate, and that was only their goal basically in the end, and that didn't settle in for Morgan at all. And of course, it didn't even go well with her own people when she came back. Basically, they called her a failure and a witch, which obviously she is, but like, it really devastated Morgan just by knowing that even she couldn't even serve the people that she was serving for, and it was a dark path that she was even going down in. And she was given the help by Grand Admiral Thrawn, which for the citizens, it was an unfortunate news, meaning that the magistrate has basically taken over for good with the help of the Empire. Which again, the magistrate even said that she was trying to get help from the Empire, but like, I guess the citizens thought that was going to be a good thing. But they realized that it was really, in fact, not a good idea at all. So for her being put in Tales of the Empire, I would rather say this is an interesting choice on why she was put in there. The only factors I would say it's good because she was given the help, but by Thrawn, which yes and no in a way, he's with the Empire, but basically he's his own ascendancy. And the fact that this is more of how Morgan became the way she is rather peculiar, so I commend the writing that was done on her. But to say that she's with the Empire is really something I personally say I don't think she's with the Empire. She's just rather on her own, even though she did ask the help from them. So that's just my take on her. Now for Barriss Offee, this is practically right for her to be in this because she did betray the Jedi during the Clone Wars, but once she becomes aware of what happens afterwards, it actually makes a different turnaround for her. Because once she witnesses the attack of the Jedi Temple, now there seems to be a duality between her standing on what she first believed to now making basically the realization on what is to now come towards later on for her. Now, she was actually being given the opportunity by Lin, which is the 4th Inquisitor that we saw in the Obi-Wan show, to be given the opportunity to become an Inquisitor like themselves. Otherwise, she would have been killed off immediately by the troopers. And obviously that makes the appearance of the Grand Inquisitor, granted by given the trial between the two other supposed Jedis that were actually survived as well, to see who makes the final stance in becoming one with the Empire. And along with that, I cannot express how many times we see Darth Vader in this animation, which is both terrifyingly beautiful, and knowing that she stands with him is oddly very ironic, considering that she and Anakin were having a duality fight because of what she did towards Ahsoka. And it's kind of ironic, really, personally, but you get the gist of that already. As soon as Barriss began her mission with Lin on finding a missing Jedi, this is when I think the hit of realization of order between Inquisitor and Empire seems to be some completely different change, because of the fact that she thought there was going to be order even in the Empire side, but that didn't go well, especially even when Lin killed off the townspeople, and that just basically made Barriss see this is not right at all either. This is when Barriss realizes there's really no control on either light side in the Jedi or dark in the Empire, and so she just basically goes off on her own, becoming a healer, until, of course, when Lin tries to find the missing child, and then that's when they get into the cave scene. And even though Lin does kill off Barriss basically just forgives her for it, which is something that is really ironic to hear from her, because even though Barriss did so much in order just to find control, there really was no such thing as that, and she just learned to just accept it, basically. And so I find this as a really good story in towards Barriss, but as for Lin, it's a realization to even her that maybe there is such light in these dark moments. So I would say that Tales of the Empire actually gives off 3 character stories, not just on Morgan, not just on Barriss, but I would say just a bit of Lin, because now we have seen a bit of her perspective, and who knows, maybe we will get to see more of her in these upcoming projects of Star Wars, but that is until they decide to do that. And that is my takeaway on Tales of the Empire. I actually say this is basically my personal favorite, but I still cannot wait for Tales of the Underworld to be coming out, and that will be another discussion for Green Warrior to talk about. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you probably in the next video. Bye!